Hello and welcome. The purpose of today's video is for me to walk you through and give you a template or framework for how to do a demonstration on our Opti Cca Ts2 instrument. My name is Dustin Moore. I'm one of the sales managers here at Opti Medical. And over the past 11 years, I've done quite a few of these demos. So I wanted to put this video together today to show you the process I've developed for conducting a demonstration on the instrument. And again, the purpose of this would just to give you a framework or template to go by. And of course, depending on your customer's needs or expectations, you can customize this and include or exclude different portions based on those customers' needs. So with that, I will begin. All right, so I'm here to show you our Opti Cca Ts2, and I'm going to start by showing you some of the physical components of our instrument. First, I'll show you our full color touchscreen. This color touchscreen here is going to display pictures and instructions walking you through each step of running any quality control or patient sample. This makes it very simple for new users or for training people on the instrument because they can simply look at the instructions on the screen and it's going to walk them through everything. Moving around the instrument to the side here, we've got a fully integrated barcode scanner that'll allow you to scan in, of course, your cassettes and other consumables, as well as operator IDs, patient ID, a session number, and those types of barcodes. On the front of the instrument, we've got our measurement chamber. This is where the measurement takes place. Our instrument utilizes optical fluorescent and reflectant technology. Some of the benefits there are this allows us to directly measure oxygen saturation and THB, which some of our competitors are not capable of doing. If I move around to the side of the instrument here, you'll see a battery backup. So the instrument is fully portable and capable to run off of power. The battery is a lithium-ion battery. Anytime I unplug the battery, it'll automatically, keep running off of the power cord. But I can also insert the battery. If that's in and I unplug it, it'll kick over to the battery power automatically. And if it's plugged in with the battery included, it's going to be charging that battery. And on the battery alone, you get around a 4 to 6 hour lifespan running off the battery. On the top, we've got our printer compartment where the printer paper drops in and the printer is. But up here, we also have a peristaltic pump tube. This peristaltic pump tube is what's utilized to create the vacuum and draw the sample into our measurement chamber. And the only maintenance that we recommend for the instrument, other than simple cleaning, is to remove this pump and replace it 1 time per year. To do that, you simply pull up on the pump. Comes out just like that. We ship you a new one that's already assembled just like this. So you put your new pump in. And doing that once a year will complete all of your preventative maintenance other than simple cleaning. And the printer is an easy feed printer. Simply pull the paper through, close the cover, and you're off ready to go. Going to the back of the instrument, there's a few components I'll show you here. We do have full connectivity capabilities. There's an Ethernet port, which would allow you to interface to any laboratory or hospital information system. You can also integrate it into data management systems and utilize that to keep track of your patient and or QC data remotely via that connectivity. We do offer a serial port and a USB port as well. This USB port, a lot of our customers like to utilize this to export their QC data and or patient data. On the data manager, you can select your QC data, export it here and to a USB drive. And the instrument will format all of the QC data into an Excel spreadsheet file for easy storage off of the instrument. And you can plug that into any computer with Excel and keep storage or review your QC data that way. The next thing on the back here is our storage compartment, and this is where we keep our standard reference cassette. And the standard reference cassette is one of our quality control items, which that'll bring me into our quality control. So running quality control on the instrument, we have 2 different types that we recommend running. First, the standard reference cassette that I mentioned. We also refer to that as the SRC. And the second type of quality control is our Opti Cca. The Opti Cca is a liquid external control. It comes with 10 ampules each of 3 different levels included in the box. We recommend running the Opti Cca once per month and with each new lot of cassettes that you have that you're going to be running on the instrument. And the SRC is our daily QC, and we recommend running this each day of patient testing. So now I'll walk you through running our quality control. To run our SRC, we simply start by scanning the barcode on the bottom of the pouch. Scan that in the barcode reader. It'll ask for an operator ID, which I'll manually punch in. You can also scan in a operator ID if you have a barcoded one. And then this is going to walk us through all the steps again. Here I select which level I want to run. I can select level 1, 2, and 3 to run all 3 levels if I would like. For today, for demo purposes, I'm just going to select one level to show you how it works. But again, if I select all 3, this would automatically run all 3 levels for me. So I'll hit OK. Open the measurement chamber. I'll take my SRC out of the pouch. That's what that looks like there. And that drops in right into the chamber. You can see the little beveled edge on the top. And also the black rubber gasket comes out of the outlet here. Once that's in there correctly, it'll ask me to close the cover. So now to do that daily QC, the standard reference cassette, to run each level 1, 2, and 3, it takes about 45 seconds per level. If I selected all 3, it would take just over 2 minutes to run all 3 and go through the process that way. So now is a good time to ask the customer a little bit about their workflow, and this will kind of help them decide on when or how they'll go about running the SRC. So one of the questions I'll ask is if they're drawing the patient samples, and if they are, a good idea or a process that might work is for them to keep the arterial sampling syringe or kit near the instrument. When they come to grab that kit to go draw the patient, they can pop the SRC in to run that sample and go draw the patient. When they get back, the instrument's ready to go. Of course, if they're running tests multiple times per day, they can also set the instrument up and perhaps run the SRC at the beginning or end of each shift, or just when they're there ready to run a sample before the sample. All of those work processes work, but this is a good time to discuss that with them. So now it's just about finished here. So here's our results. There's the pass-fail. If you did fail one of the QCs, it would say fail in red here, so that would be easy to see. But we also provide the ranges, which is pulled off of the barcode from our SRC, the results, and a result for each of the parameters. You know, one of the good things to point out here is some of our competitors, some of the single-use cassette type instruments will not give you a result here or even provide a limit. They will just give you an arbitrary pass-fail for the total test. So on those instruments, you might not know if it was an individual parameter that failed, or if it was high or low, or if there was any trending. But with our instrument, you get statistical QC data from the daily QC. And again, that's a nice feature against some of our competitors. Now, if I did run the level 1 and 2, I could touch the screen up here and see that data. And of course, I get the printout for those results. And once I'm done reviewing that, I can go back to the home screen and remove the SRC and put that back in our storage compartment in the back. So that's the daily QC. The next quality control is the Opti Cca that I mentioned earlier. Again, the Opti Cca is a monthly QC and also required to be run with each new lot of cassettes. To run our Opti Cca, we'll start by going into the middle menu here, which is the QC manager, selecting control for the liquid controls, and we'll input our operator ID. And then here we'll select which level we want to run, level 1, 2, or 3. So for this example, I'm going to run my level 2. I can confirm by looking at that the lot number and everything is correct. So hit OK. And now, since we're doing a liquid control, we're going to use one of our sensor cassettes. So the next step it's instructing me on is to scan the barcode in. And again, it'll walk us through the steps. So open up the measurement chamber, open my cassette pouch. This is what our sensor cassettes look like. Each sensor cassette comes with a syringe adapter already attached. Here you can see where the blood flows over the sensors, and this is where the measurements take place. The screen here is asking me to open the pouch, but also to wipe the cassette. The reason for that is we spray some deionized water into this pouch to keep the humidity constant. And this is one of the reasons we're able to store our cassettes at room temperature. So at this step, you just want to brush the water, any excess water residue off the cassette. A tissue, anything like that is fine. And the cassette drops in the same way as our SRC. So drop that in, close the cover. And now we are doing the calibration. So anytime you're using one of the sensors, calibration is required. So it's calibrating this cassette to make sure that the sensors weren't compromised in shipping or at any point in time, and also ensuring that that measurement is as accurate and precise as possible. So it'll do the calibration, which takes about 45 seconds. After this process, we'll introduce our sample. It'll do the QC measurement, and that also takes about 45 seconds. So while it's calibrating, when you're running your quality control, you want to mix this. So just mix it back and forth 5 or 6 times is fine, and then tap it down. And you also want to just set this on the counter. You don't want to hold it in your hand and heat it up or alter it in any way. So just mix it and go ahead and set it down on the counter. And so one of the unique features of our instrument is, since we have that automatic sample aspiration, we'll be able to aspirate the quality control material directly out of this ampule. Some of our competitors require you to get a syringe and draw this material up and then take it over to a cassette and drip the sample in. However, with ours, we can pop this and then hold the ampule so that it aspirates directly out of here. And this helps keep our quality control measurements very precise and in line. And that's due to there being less variance involved with transferring the sample and doing those added steps. So the sample is going to be aspirated right out of the very tip of the red syringe adapter here. So what I'll do is pop it, hold that tip into the liquid ampule, and then hit OK. So pop that open, hold it in there, and it'll aspirate the sample. So that beep is letting me know that it's done, so I can remove that. And now it'll do the measurement. So all of our quality controls will be held on the data manager that's on board, the onboard data manager here. It'll keep track of 120 runs of each level of the liquid controls and 200 runs of each of the levels of the SRC, and it'll also keep track of 500 patient records all on board. Our instrument will also provide statistic data on the quality control, and I'll show you how to review that data in just a moment. So all of our Opti-Check, or the Opti-Check liquid controls, this is room temperature storage, so you don't have to equilibrate or wait for it to equilibrate to room temperature. You can pull these out and run them when you're ready. Again, some of our competitors do require that their quality control be refrigerated and left out for about 4 hours to equilibrate before you can run them. So here's our results. Again, it's very much like the SRC with pass-fail here, the range of the limits and ranges, and then our result. And of course, for each parameter. Today, for demonstration, I'm using our B cassette, which is the basic blood gas pH, PO2, PCO2 with direct measurement of SO2 and THB. So that's the quality control. Once you've reviewed that, you can just hit up and remove your sensor cassette. This is going to be disposed of now that it's been used, and we can go back to the home screen, and now we're ready to run a patient sample. So running a patient sample is very similar to what we just did with the liquid control. And to initiate running a patient sample, the first step is actually being instructed on the home screen already. So first step will just be to walk up with our cassette and scan the barcode in off of our cassette. So we'll scan that in. and walk through the steps here. So open the measurement chamber, open our cassette, wipe off any excess water, and drop that in. So when you're running a patient sample and the calibration and measurements taking place, it'll allow you to go ahead and input your patient information. So here you can input and customize this menu to include or exclude any information that you would like. So right now I have quite a few things turned on, but again, if you just wanted to put in a patient ID or a session number or sample type, you could remove all the other items from this menu. And also, if you have a barcoded patient ID or barcoded accession number that you would like to scan in to help prevent any errors from inputting it manually, you can do so. Just hit edit here next to the field you want to input, and then you can just grab any barcode and you can scan those in, and it'll scan the number in from that barcode. So you can scan in patient ID accession numbers. Also, any of these fields, if you wanted to make them required, you can do that, and that would prevent the user from moving forward and forgetting to input one of these items. Like if you really wanted to make sure the patient ID was input every time, you can make that required, and that'll prevent them from forgetting to put that in. So again, it's doing the calibration now. So I have some quality control material drawn up into a syringe, so we're just gonna pretend this is a blood sample for demonstration here. When I'm doing this also, as a side note, it's better to use the level 3 quality control. It's the closest to mimicking a blood sample. So now it's calibrated and ready to run the sample. So we'll just attach our syringe to the syringe adapter here. Just presses on snug, hit OK, and then an instrument will automatically aspirate that sample in for us. The sample size is 125 microliters, so that's 1/8 of a milliliter. So very small sample size. And the measurement time is only about 45 seconds or so. So the instrument is able to accept capillary samples and also vacutainers for some of our samples as well, for some of our cassettes. So now we'll do the measurement. One of the items that I talk to here that I like to communicate to the customers is I'll talk to them about the comfort sampler. If you have some of those present, you can show them and talk to them about some of the advantages of that product. I do have one here, so I'll kind of show you how I do that. So, you know, if you do, while it's doing this, you can grab one of our comfort samplers, and I like to open it up and show them. And so here I have the kit that has the needle and the comfort sampler device. So I can attach that and show them that what it looks like. And some of the features I point out quickly here are just the great flash point. So you can see instantly when you have entered the artery, as the blood will start flashing into the capillary tube. It's also a 25 gauge needle, which is going to be a little bit less painful for the patient. And a great feature of the capillary tube here is that you can actually see the heartbeat as the sample moves through there. You know, so that really ensures that you're getting arterial blood and not mixed venous, something like that. And then you're in and out really quick. So this holds 250 microliters. So in just a few heartbeats, it's full. You remove it, and the process is over. And of course, it has the safety needle protector here. So yeah, once you withdraw the sample, you can remove the needle, and there's also a cap that goes right on there. And if you were running this on the Opti, instead of using the syringe and syringe adapter, you would simply remove the syringe adapter. That pulls right off. And the comfort sampler then would plug right into the rubber gasket here, like so. And a capillary sample would work the same way as that. So now we've got our results here. Very easy to see in large font. So also it'll flag highs and lows if your values are outside of the reference range. And you can also establish a critical range that's even broader, and it'll flag those here as well. So yeah, review your data. Once you've done that, you can hit up, remove that cassette. The cassette will lock this shut, so there's no chance of this leaking or causing any biohazard. And of course, you get your printout. So next, well, some of the things you can point out, you can customize the printout here to include things like the reference ranges, of course, all the values. It'll keep a time, date, serial numbers, all of that included there. So next, the last step I like to do here is show them just a few of the menus. For the menus, you've got the data manager, so we'll start there. So on the data manager, there's a couple things I like to point out here. First, you have a menu for your standard reference cassette or your daily QC, and a separate menu for your external liquid controls or your monthly QC. So if I go into our SRC menu, here you can see all of that data. You can arrange it by the user, by the date or level by tapping up top here. If you wanted to go back and view a sample, hit the magnifying glass, it'll pull that up like you just ran the test. You can reprint from here. And then if you wanted to transfer all of this data to the USB drive in the back, you can select all to select all the data and hit the spreadsheet button and then hit yes here. It'll give you an Excel spreadsheet file of all that QC data. Finally, you can also do a statistics report. This will allow you to get your CV, SD, and mean values right off of the instrument. And you can even customize it and pick specific lots, levels, and date ranges there. You have the same menu for your liquid external controls, the monthly QC. So all of the same capabilities there. And then you have a separate menu for your patients, which is a little different in that it has patient ID instead of user ID. And of course, no statistics report, but all the other functionality is the same here. So the next menu is the QC manager. We reviewed most of that already, running our quality control, but the last menu is our system manager, and this is where you do most of your setup. So I'll go into the setup menu. Two items here that are good to point out. First is the QC lockout. So our QC lockout feature will enable you to set the instrument up so that it's not possible to run a patient sample if you haven't met your QC procedures, your QC requirements, and you can set that up for the SRC, the daily QC, for the liquid controls, your monthly liquid control QC, and also for the new lots. So this is kind of a reminder feature to remind the users to when they need to run their QC. And it also is a great feature for point of care. Lab managers like to see this if they're relinquishing control of the instrument to the ICU or other therapists throughout the hospital, because enabling this feature gives them the peace of mind to know that the technicians won't be able to run a patient sample if they haven't met their QC requirements. So that's a really great feature for point of care. So the rest of this is customization, inputting things like your reference ranges, customizing the patient data entry menu. There's also a place here to scan in your OptiCheck ranges. So each box of OptiCheck comes with the insert, which has ranges for the 3 levels in a barcode. So you simply scan that in here and the instrument knows your ranges for all of your liquid controls. So no need to go reference them elsewhere. It's held internally and can flag that for you. So that's most of everything. The last thing I'll show on the instrument here is there is an onboard barometer and then the gas percentage. This gas percentage is showing you the level of the gas canister, which is used for the calibration. That's located right here on the side of the instrument. And this is good for about 100 tests, 80 to 100 tests. And when this gets down to about 5%, you'll want to go ahead and change the gas bottle out, which is very easy to do. It's much like changing a light bulb on, something like that. So you just twist it. That's what the gas canister looks like. Once you've removed the gas canister, this screen automatically populates here. So we'll just hit new gas bottle, and your new gas bottle will come with a barcode that you just scan in. You can also manually punch in the lot information, which I'll do quickly here. And then you just insert the new gas bottle the same way, twist it in. Then the instrument will simply purge the gas line and it's back ready to go. There's no need to rerun QC or anything like that. It's not affected. So yeah, that's the gas bottle. So this concludes my demonstration for the Opti Cca TS2 blood gas analyzer. And I hope that you all found this informative. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next video.